All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream. I hope everyone is doing well out there today. Happy Tuesday. It's been a minute again since we've done a live stream, but I hope everyone has been doing well since our last live stream, which was very unproductive in my opinion, but hey, it's all good. Looks like we already got a couple peeps in the house. We got first generation farmer in the house. Hello, happy Tuesday. We got Jackson 1601 says, what is good, my friend? What is good? And just got back from well, not just right now, but just got back this morning from being out of town for a few days, so I haven't been in the shop, and I feel better. Took some time away, and hung out with the lady friend, which is always nice. And her sister just got a new chocolate lab puppy, and that's been fun. So I was helping out yesterday with crate training while everybody was at work, so it went very smooth. And yeah, so now we're back. Have a few things to get done, like this 2511 that we're going to be working on right now. So a little backstory to this one. It was already put together, but I goofed up and I damaged the crankshaft threads, so therefore well, can't install the flywheel, and I kind of mushroomed the crankshaft, and so that's my bad. And well, thankfully I have a crankcase replacement, which is my personal crankcase and crankshaft assembly with the piston. So instead of taking off the piston and splitting the crankcase and then putting everything back together, I'm just going to go ahead and do a direct replacement. So this is a 2511 here, and so it's going to get a brand new everything: piston, rings, crankcase, crankshaft, because again, this is for my personal 2511 TN, and it only has maybe an hour of runtime. I literally just bought it, took it out of the box, set it up with the Ripsaw quarter pitch conversion kit, Egan straight pipe, and basically just ran it to tune it and do some test cuts, and that's it. And it's been sitting ever since. So I'm still losing money because now I have to use my personal crankcase, and then once I want to run my 2511, I have to buy crankcase and crankshaft and all that good stuff. But again, that's just part of the lesson learned here is, which is, for one, don't do things sloppy in a rush, and if you can avoid it, don't do anything if you're not in the right headspace, especially if you're already going into something frustrated for an unrelated reason. So that's what happened to me, and that's why I damaged our customer's crankshaft. And again, it's just a lesson learned. So, but again, thankfully I have a personal 2511 that I'm going to just take this from, because it's already unassembled. So it's going to save me some downtime at least, but in the long run, it's not going to save any money because I'm going to have to rebuy the whole assembly to get mine back up and running. So, but anyhow, again, lesson learned. So this is the, and I mean, the crankshaft, the bearings and everything is still, well, excuse me, the crankcase, the bearings, it's still good. And the crankshaft, I mean, technically it's still good, but I mushroomed the flywheel side of the crankshaft because I was trying to take the whole block out, and I hammered it, and I accidentally hit in the wrong spot, and there you go. So and really, yeah, so I don't want to, honestly, I just don't want to waste any more time and split the case and do everything else. So I'm going to just, again, do a drop replacement. And either way, I don't like the way that piston looks. So I'm going to just throw in everything brand new. So again, that's at my expense. And again, lesson learned. Let's see, we got some comments. Jackson says, what is that? So right now we're working on Echo 2511T top handle chainsaw. Again, this was already assembled, but then when I went to go install the flywheel, came to find out that when I was trying to take out the engine, I accidentally hammered a couple times in the wrong spot, and I mushroomed our customer's crankshaft. So therefore I cannot put the flywheel nut on there, and you know, I could make new threads, but right now I don't have the tools to do so. So for now, the quickest solution is to take my personal, the crankshaft and crankcase and everything from my personal 2511 that I had unassembled to do some porting, and just drop it, get it assembled, go out to do some testing, and go from there. So again, that's just, you know, lesson learned. I am going to take the base gasket though. Well, actually, I don't even need to do anything with that. This is all good. So I'm just going to drop replace and then reassemble it, and then should be good to go. Go out to do some testing. So let's see here. We got Dreaming in sorry, I missed. Dethroned by Eli says, have you seen Interstellar? No, I have not. I've heard it's good, but no, I have not seen it personally. Dreaming in Progress says, hey man, how you doing today? Been a while since I've been able to catch your live. My friend, appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Glad you were able to make it this time. I'm doing good. Just going to go ahead and reassemble this 2511 so we can go out and do some testing, and hopefully we're all good to go. It's a little chilly out, so I think this morning, at least for California, it's freaking cold. It was 32 degrees. So where I was, which is Napa, which is about like 45 minutes or so away, it was 32 degrees this morning. At least that's what the news said. But no, we're doing good. We're doing good. Feeling a lot better. So the last live stream, which you guys can catch it on our page here on our channel. I don't know. It wasn't very, I don't know. It wasn't very productive for one, and two, it's just, you know, the headspace has been a little weird. But like I was just saying in the intro here, took some time off, you know, to go hang out with the lady friend and her family, and the new puppy, chocolate lab puppy that her sister got, and so we're feeling better. But thank you, I appreciate you asking. Okay, EH. Alrighty, my friend. You were just here not too long ago. You've been here, but hey, it's life, you know. We got things to do. First Generation Farmer says, what do you think of the MS261, and what's the biggest bar I could put on it? So I think it's a good saw, but me personally, the biggest bar, they sell it with the 20 inch. A lot of people convert it to a 3/8 pitch. And really, I think, you know, I believe there's a 22-inch size bar that you could probably put on there. I mean, 22, you know, I'm sure somebody out there runs a 25, but really I think it's better suited for a 20-inch. I think it's an okay saw. I mean, it's a good saw. It's reliable. It's 50 cc, 4 horsepower, about 10 pounds. Normally it's sold with a 325 pitch, but again, a lot of people convert it to a 3/8, which, you know, it's a chunkier pitch, a bigger pitch. So I think, you know, it might slow it down a little bit. But me personally, though, if I was to go buy a saw in that size or class range, I would probably just go either straight into the 362, or if you can, I know it's a couple $100 more or a little more or less, I would go for that 400. The 400s are sweet saws. But if the 400 wasn't an option and it was maybe 261, maybe 362, I would say if you can, maybe go into that 362. But again, it all just depends on what makes sense, you know. But I think it's a good saw. Long story short, I think it's a good saw. But me personally, I would probably try to jump into that 362. And again, if, you know, if it pans out, maybe the 400, because that 400, man, I want one right now. It's a really good saw. So let's go ahead and get this 2511T reassembled here. I'm gonna just go ahead and the great thing about this this piston, it's a single ring piston. So at least the first time, I mean, I usually get pretty lucky and I don't have to use a piston compressor ring, but you definitely want to get it lubed up. And even the cylinder, man, it's kind of it's got some scoring going on, a couple marks, nothing major, but they definitely run this saw a little hard. So, which these echoes can definitely take a beating. So I know a lot of folks think that these saws are kind of little pipsqueaks or whatever, like just little tiny saws, and they are. They almost look like a toy, but it performs really good. It can handle a beating. Just like most saws, I mean, they can handle a beating, especially like pro level saws, but you still got to be careful. So anyways, gotta lube it up a little bit. Everybody settle down. We got James Oliver in the house. Says, hello, how are you? Sir, hello, how are you doing? Doing good here. And we got Zach in the house. Zach, how you doing, man? I feel like it's been a minute, but I know you're a busy man out there. You got school, and which I hope everything has been good. Family, school, personal life, which I guess would be family, but hopefully you're doing good, and always appreciate you stopping by and saying hello, even if it is just passing by. And so, and also I like putting a little oil on the piston just for a little better ease of sliding the cylinder head over the piston around the edge here, just a little. That should be good. So, and I'm just using some real basic cheap Echo power blend, non-full synthetic. It's just an SAE blend. It's still synthetic, but it's not a full synthetic. It's just something that I had laying around. Let's see, Zach says, yo, what we doing today? So right now we are putting together an Echo 2511T for our customer. Oh wow, the age is hitting. Alberto. So, and I was just saying that we're learning a valuable lesson here today, because it was already assembled, but because I when I unassembled it and tried to take the engine out, the block and everything, I accidentally hammered the crankshaft a couple times because I was in a rush. I was maybe a little careless. The headspace was a little unfocused, and I was already in, just trying to get it done, and kind of grumpy, and so what happened is that I mushroomed the flywheel side of the crankshaft. So the threads, I damaged the threads, and I didn't realize I did that until I went to assemble it, and I was about to just put the flywheel on, and well, that's when I learned a hard lesson. But so thankfully though, this is from my personal 2511. It has maybe an hour runtime, an hour at most. So instead of splitting the crankcase and removing the piston and all that, I'm just going to go ahead and give them pretty much a brand new crankcase, crankshaft, and pretty much a bottom end, new bottom end. So it's not going to save any money in this case, because when I get ready to go ahead and use my 2511 and reassemble it, I'm going to have to spend money on a bottom end. But you know, that's just part of the game. Again, lesson learned. And which is basically, you know, just be more careful. And also too, if I can avoid it, you know, maybe try to do things when I'm not frustrated, or, you know, just in a better headspace. So so let's go ahead and put the cylinder head over the piston, and the piston will have a little arrow. So the arrow is always going to go towards the exhaust. So in this case, these are a little, let me see. So we got the flywheel on this side. Let me just look at my, so then this is going to go like this. Oh, and then also to make sure that your rings are clearing that little, there's a little pin on the piston. Make sure that your piston rings are clearing that pin, so that way they fully compress. So just like that. And in this case, I don't think I'll need the piston ring compressor, because these are just tiny little rings here. And first gen, you're welcome, man, anytime. I'm always happy to help if I can. Zach says, I'm back from rugby and doing homework right now. Damn, dude, rugby's badass, man. It's a bad dude right there if he plays rugby. Hopefully it's all good. And we got in the house. Greetings, greetings. Happy Tuesday. All right. So see, I just made sure that the piston ring cleared the that little pin, and I was able to just slide that over the piston. And let's see. Actually, so I need to actually slide or turn the cylinder head over. It's going to go like this, and then the exhaust will be like that. So thankfully I got lucky here, that I had, you know, that I have a 2511 that I could just pull the bottom end from. But again, definitely want to be careful. So again, that's just part of the lesson learned. Okay. So now we're good to go. So it's going to sit like this. So clutch on this side, flywheel on that side. So let's go ahead and put the 4 mounting screws back on. And as I always say, you always want to use Loctite anytime going into metal. At least that's what I like to do, because you don't want to run the risk of, you know, putting together your either your personal saw or your friend's saw or your customer saw, and screws just go flying everywhere. Because I've had that happen once. I was, again, in a rush, and I wasn't paying attention. I mean, I was, but I wasn't. And I left one screw, or I put a screw in the wrong spot. It felt like it tightened down, but the threads weren't catching 100%. And when they were out on the job site, it fell out. And some might say, well, it's all right, it's just one screw, but it's not a good look. So I just go with a little bit of Loctite. I use the red Loctite. You can definitely use the blue, that's fine too, but I like the red. It's not as runny, and, you know, chainsaws produce a lot of vibration. So as much as I really do believe you can get away with using the blue, I'd rather just, again, safe than sorry type of deal, and just go with the red. And it's just, I feel like it's better consistency. It's more like a gel opposed to a runny liquid. But the blue should be fine. I'm not going to tighten them down all the way. I'm going to go ahead and put all 4 screws in, and then just enough to hold everything in place. And then once I put the last one in, then I'll do the final tight down. OO says, have you tried gasket delete? Gasket delete? No, I have not. Is that an actual thing? I've heard people say things like that, and I don't know if they're just like joking or if it's a real thing. Sometimes though, I don't use the base gasket and I use gasket maker. But as far as removing the gasket completely and running it without anything, I haven't tried it. But I wouldn't mind trying it on a personal saw, but I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that and see, you know, what the real benefit is, or if that's even a thing, or if people are just trolling. I don't know. But if I don't use the original base gasket, I always use gasket maker. First Generation says, gotta go, take care, and I will probably be back later. My friend, appreciate you for stopping in. I hope you have a good day out there. And again, happy Tuesday, and thank you for joining us for a little bit here. We got Liam in the house, says, hi, how's your day going? Liam, I'm doing good. For California, it's pretty chilly out. It was like between 30 and 32 degrees out. I got home around like 7:30. I was out in Napa hanging out with my lady friend and her family, and hanging out with her sister's new chocolate lab, old Nash, and did some crate training, and it was fun. It was good. But yeah, today's going good. You know, the mind is still kind of testing us a little bit here and there, but overall feeling better today, starting to feel better. Gonna get this 2511. So I put the flywheel on just to make sure everything is spinning correctly and spinning good, and we're good to go. And also learning a lesson to be more careful, because this 2511 was already pretty much assembled. I was just all I had to do at the time was to put the flywheel on, and that's when I realized that when I unassembled it, I accidentally whacked the crankshaft, and I mushroomed the flywheel side, so the threads got damaged, so I wasn't able to actually bolt down the flywheel. And on my customer's original, the damaged one, I'm going to look for a rethreader and see if I can make new threads. But I also damaged the original bolt because I didn't know that it was damaged, so I just tried to tighten it down, and it busted the couple of the threads in here. So have to get a new flywheel nut. And but luckily though, since I have a 2511, my personal, and it's pretty much brand new, maybe an hour of runtime, I just took the bottom end and I'm just doing a simple just direct drop replacement. Like I said, it's not going to save any money, because when I get ready to go put my 2511 back together, I'm going to have to buy a new bottom end. So crankcase, crankshaft, piston. In this case, it's just saving time. So, but either way, I don't like the way this piston looks. So I'd rather I feel okay with it, because he's going to get a new bottom end. So, okay. Oh man, the phone's on 10%. I didn't plan on doing a live stream today. That's why I didn't charge my phone, but we'll do our best here. This shouldn't take too long, because we're pretty much done as far as this, and then there's not much left to do. So But I was like, you know what? I haven't been doing live streams, and I think that's also too why I've been feeling kind of like off, because I really do like doing live streams and hanging out with you guys and talking to all you guys, and you know, just because you guys are awesome, and but I've just been a little off myself. So anyhow, so here's our engine housing and handle. Okay. Yes. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get this thing back on. So engine housing, top end, bottom end, goes right into place like so. All right. James H says that's a really small, cute engine. I'm telling you, man, these things are like little toys. You know, I mean, look at the clutches on these things. They're just little tiny things, little tiny sprockets. Yeah, they are kind of cute. Honestly, they are. So Liam says that he got another chainsaw. Probably got one of them Husqvarna things. No, but in all seriousness, what kind of chainsaw did you get? I'm assuming Husqvarna. So OO says, I don't know. In theory, it should make more compression, higher RPMs, but less torque and without porting and lathing, but need to make sure piston squish is fine. Okay. That's kind of what I kind of thought. But yeah, I'd have to do some research on that and yeah, make sure everything else is kind of, you know, aligning, like you said, the squish and all that, and everything is good. Dreaming in Progress says the money or time is money too, right? I mean, essentially, yeah. I mean, yeah, it is. In this case, you know, if I had to order, you know, the new the new crankcase, that'd be more downtime for my customer, and you know, and I'm definitely not going to charge him for my mistake either. So yeah, it's just I'm just glad that I'm not glad that it happened, but at the same time I am, because it just makes me kind of open my eyes a little bit more and realize, like, dude, like, you got to just focus, chill, and let me see here. So for these two, I think I'm going to put a little Loctite on there. But yeah, no, and so in this case, though, if I would have had to order one, if I didn't have a 2511, you know, that would have definitely been more downtime for a customer, and two, I would have to tell them why I have to do that. And I'm not going to just say, oh, it's just because, you know, I just want to give you a new top end, because I mean, I do my best to hook up our customers, but come on, man. So I'd have to tell them, hey, you know what? I goofed up, and which it's not a hard bullet to bite. I'm okay with owning up to my mistakes, but at the same time, though, that'd make our customer think like, wow, like, what the hell is he doing over there? Like, so I'd rather just do better next time and be more careful. Oh, I don't know why I thought that was going to work out. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting the air intake boot on to the cylinder. I think they call them the baffle, or basically the manifold. So held down by two T27s. Put a little Loctite on there just to be safe. Giving them a nice hand snug, but not over tightening. What did I just say? Giving him a nice over tight. What? Okay, buddy. Settle down, Francis. Cool. Now I can go ahead and let's go ahead and close up this Loctite. let's see. So Liam says yeah, so I'm guessing that's a yeah to getting another Husky. Which one, what kind did you get? Did you ever get that 450 running? Because, man, we need to get that thing going. Let's see, Dreaming in Progress says it's the best possible solution to deal with it. Yeah, you gotta just, I mean, I could sit here all day and be like, oh, but again, it's like, well, whose fault is it? It's mine, Be more careful, man. Come on. Because I may be saving time, not having to order and whatever, but we ain't saving money. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just pulling the manifold in through the, what I call the carburetor box. But being careful that I don't tear it or anything, coming back to the careful. Although, whatever, I have a whole new 2511, some have that mentality. But man, come on. I want to run my 2511 one day. And even though it doesn't make it okay, because I made a mistake, but what makes me feel better about it is that, parts for these Echoes are not, they're not, I mean, they cost money, obviously, but they're not, it's not like, oh my God, now I'm going to have to drop $300 on a new top end, but still, I mean, that's not the point. That's not the point. Okay, so intake is through. Now let's go ahead and bolt down the top at the engine here. Let me see. Okay, that is going in metal, so a little Loctite on there. And you get a reason to buy a nice type and die set. So the thing is, I have one. It's my grandfather's Mac tap and I use the blue. Okay, blue's fine. I have one. It's just the size for this, I need something a little bit smaller. So it just doesn't have, I mean, it has a lot of sizes, but it doesn't have one for this size here. So and thankfully I don't have to use it much or at all. But yeah, new reason to buy something. Could always use more tools anyways, right? Which, talking about new tools, I did just buy, and talking about this cute little file with a little, looks like a 4-inch file that I'm going to use for a timing advance on a 194 for my buddy Alonzo, which that is on the agenda for today. Knock on wood, it should be pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. I'm not going to go crazy, just a little bit. And do some testing. It already has the Precision Saw Service muffler by Michael Gage. He put the Oregon Mini 325, like the Nano Cut conversion. So it's a little ripper already, but I'm going to give it a little timing advance. Again, nothing major. Just something to give it a little more zip. And then I'm going to tune up the carburetor for him just a little bit. Needs just a little tweak on the high. Nothing major. Okay. So our engine is in. And we got Free America from Trump says something, and I'm not sure the language there, but I'm just going to say hello. Much love to you. Happy Tuesday. Let's see. Dreaming in Progress says Nice. I inherited almost all my files from my father and grandfather. They don't make them like that anymore. And that's true. You know, my grandpa, thankfully, I'm blessed to still have him here with us. You know, he's inside right now. And but yeah, he's bought that's his thing. You know, he buys tools, and yeah, they definitely don't make tools like they used to. So that Mac tool set's from, oh, I don't know, late 70s, early 80s, from when he used to be a mechanic at the cannery that him and my grandma used to work at. So he started off working on the line, on the production line, and then from there, you know, he's always been very handy, and then he moved into the mechanic. So he fixed and maintained all the machines, you know, all the lines. And so I guess Mac was around at that point. And you know, I always joke with him because he's like, yeah, he's like, I was really cool with the Mac guy. You know, he would just, you know, he would just like let me take stuff and pay him back later. I'm like, yeah, he was cool, all right. Just wanted you to buy stuff. But no, I'm sure he was cool because my grandpa, he's a likable man. So anyhow, okay, let's go ahead and put on our oil pump on. Boom. He Dreaming in Progress says back when the boats were made of wood and the men were made of steel. Exactly. It's a saying in Holland. No, I'm pretty sure I've heard that one before. That's a good one. No, that's funny. But that's facts. That's facts, Jack. Okay, our little washer here. And then our oil pump. Man, this phone is on 6%. Shit. Let me go ahead and bring the phone charger because I like the flow of this live stream. It's a lot better than our last live stream. I almost didn't want to publish the last live stream that we did because it just wasn't the norm. But you know what? I've said it since day one. You know, I do my best to show the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because that's just life. I mean, we're human, so, and it helps. So let me go grab this phone charger real quick. Dreaming in Progress says nowadays the boats are made of Chinesium and the men are made out of soy, it seems. A lot of estrogen. Hey, we got Digger Mike in the house that says, yo, yo, yo. Happy Tuesday. Just going to step away to grab this phone charger. Because like I said, I like the flow of this live stream. It's a better live stream than last time because it just wasn't productive and I was just kind of like pouting and shites, and it's just like, yeah. But hey, there's always better days like today. So 1 second. All right. And also too, coming back to, you know, keeping it real. I think another reason why I'm not so like enthusiastic about doing live streams these days. I think I'm dealing with some like eczema issues on my face, as you can see. So it's just kind of, I feel kind of like, you know. But hey, that's just real. I'll get it squared away though. I'm pretty sure it's eczema, which is tricky. It's a tricky thing. Dreamin' says people can hit that like. There's 60 of us in here and 10 likes. Dreamin', appreciate you, man. It's all good, man. You know, it's cool. You know, like I appreciate everybody, being here and whether the comments are going crazy or the likes are going crazy, and I mean, just the fact that you guys are sitting here taking time out of your days to hang out and shoot the shot, shoot the shit. Shit, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to like work on my sailor mouth. Shoot the breeze. Sorry about that. I accidentally hit the lock button on my screen. Okay, let's try to see if I can get this phone to stay with the charger and on the bottom there. I think it should be okay. Hey, we got Newton 007 back in the house. Newton, my friend, appreciate you. Much love to you guys and to you and everybody in Germany as well. If we want to talk about cold, I'm sure you guys know you guys are freezing over there. Or maybe, I don't know. Okay. And I also need to order some parts. Oh. Uh-oh. Where? Oh, boy. Okay, hold on a second. So there's one screw here for the oil pump. Oh, boy. Well, that's not good. Oh, here it is. Whew. I was like, where'd it go? Okay. Where'd it go? Little Loctite on here. Should probably get some more here soon. Already dreaming. Get that rest, man, because the rest really plays a role in a lot of things. You know, the psyche and the mood and just everything. So yeah, definitely get some rest, and we'll see you on the next one for sure. Much love to you, man. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate ya. Oh shit, that's not the right screw either. Oh boy. Oh, here it is. So what does that one go to then? Okay, either way, this is the one that I need here. Little Loctite on there. Boom. Dreamin' says exactly. I've been lacking on the sleep department. No, man. I know it's tricky. I mean, I always have a hard time falling asleep, but no, man, you really start to feel it. You know, the brain. Yeah, get that sleep, man. Try to do your best. Take some melatonin if you have to, or drink some tea. I don't know, because you don't want to start feeling that cloudy judgment, that haze. It's no good. Appreciate you, man. Laters. And I am going to go out and test this saw. Not on this live stream, but I'm going to take you guys out there. Like I said in the last live stream, I am going to take you guys out to where I do testing. If I don't go over to my friend's property, I just go and, I literally go in a duffel bag and I just walk out of the mobile home park and I go over to the train tracks. I take it to the tracks and I just rip it up out there. Okay, oil pump is in. Let's go. Let's go ahead and get our worm gear in there, which is right here. Also, since we're already here about the, since we're here with the worm gear, for those that are running or have the 2511 TN version, if you ever plan on converting it to a quarter pitch conversion, you want to use this worm gear. So you want to take, so just basically Ripsaw has it, or just buy the worm gear for the 2511T, and this is the one that you want. On my TN, I actually kind of just fabricated it a little bit, just kind of modified the worm gear, but this is the one that you want to do or use. So just a FYI kind of thing, I guess. So make sure it's all good here. We got Muhammad out here. He says, "Hi, please shout out, or I'm leaving. See ya." I'm not really that much of a dick, but for real, I don't really do shout outs. Anyhow, moving on. But for real, I mean, no one's forcing you to be here. Anyhow, okay. That's enough Dickensian for 1 minute. Okay, let's go ahead and connect our... And if you really want to pout, you can go ahead and hit that thumbs down too. It'd be my first one. Okay. So let's go ahead now. Let's go ahead and get this AV in place and get this tightened down, which is this one here. No Loctite on that. Uh-oh says, "Why can't you start it at your place? Is it some kind of HOA violation?" So it is HOA here. But also too, so it's a 55 and over mobile home park. So senior mobile home park. I live here with my grandparents, and yeah, they would not like that very much. So, and I'm just kind of here like on the DL. So like I always kind of said, it's a little joke. You know, we're some chainsaw outlaws over here. I do make noise. The loudest thing that I do here is sharpening. So if I have chipper blades I need to sharpen, you know, I got to run the old school grinder, or the air compressor. That is the loudest thing I have to do. Usually if I'm not sharpening chipper blades. And but yeah, no, oh man, that would not be good. Although I was trying to start a 151 T that I just ported, and I'm having some starting issues. I'm pretty sure it's the diaphragm, the metering diaphragm. It needs a new one, so I don't think it's getting fuel to start. So I need to order that. But I was starting it up, trying to just get it to turn over on the side yard after doing different things, tuning the carburetor, or like, you know, adjusting everything and just trying different things. That's as far as I do. I don't, you know, definitely don't want to chance it. Mohammed says, "Flip you." Oh, you know, it's actually probably one of the nicest things I've been told on these live streams, honestly. So, sir, good day to you. Digger Mike says, "My man basically said deuces, ho." Okay, I was just saying, you know, I mean, yeah. No, but I mean, I do my best to just, you know, say hello to everybody, acknowledge you guys, and, you know, especially when I'm like more in the zone, I do my best to not leave you guys hanging on the comments, because that is kind of annoying, honestly. But yeah, I don't, you know, I've had people be like, "Oh, shout me out and I'll give you a like," and it's like, well, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, well, I still appreciate you being here, you know. So anyhow, okay, our AV spring there is secured. Let's go ahead and put this little cover on. It's just a little protector. So this goes like so. Just kind of pops into place. You do want to be careful with these tabs, but you do got to push them in kind of good. And this saw originally came in just because he said that they just couldn't get it to run right, and that they had tried adjusting the carburetor and it didn't do anything. But you know, adjusting carburetors can be a little tricky, especially if you don't have, you know, even just a little understanding of, you know, they might have accidentally been adjusting the low end, or maybe they just tried adjusting the high end. So after I assemble it, we're gonna end the live, go over there. I'm gonna try to take another saw out there just to kind of hit two birds with one stone. So I think after this, I'm gonna do Alonzo's timing advance, and then I'll take his 194 over there also, and that way you guys can hear the precision saw service muffler and have some fun, man. I think, yeah, we need to listen. We need to rip some saws today. So anyhow, and I'm gonna just try to tweak the carburetor and see if that does anything, and if not, it might just need a little carb work. So, and the only other thing that I'm doing for this is I'm gonna get him a dust cover. That's what they call it. It just covers up the lines and the cables, and then new spark plug. The air filter is fine. It's good. And then fuel filter, and that's pretty much it. This one didn't need much. It's already cleaned. Okay, so we're gonna put the handle on next. So these are kind of tricky. So the first thing you want to do is put this in end first, like so, and then this bottom part, it kind of slides in. So you want to pull it out just a little bit. Actually, nope, I lied. Hold on a second. So it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting design here. So it's like a slide. So you see how I put it in? I know it's kind of hard to see, but you want to just set it in place and then twist it forward or spin it forward, and then it kind of locks into place underneath here. But there is still a screw that you want to take out first. And then this just goes right into the handle. And then let's go ahead and get this E27 in there. Hopefully I was able to show you guys. I mean, it's kind of, I know it's kind of crappy angle and stuff, but Uh-oh says hi. Yeah, understandable. I live in an apartment and tinkering with saws. When I need to check it, if it's working, I just grab it and drive to the forest. Or that too, you know. So me personally right now, I'm working on getting another vehicle because I actually don't have a vehicle right now. But hopefully by March or sooner, just depends. We'll have another vehicle. And yeah, I'd rather just take a drive, you know. I mean, down the street is fine, you know, but, and walking is not bad because it doesn't take long to get there. It just helps me get in my steps for the day, especially that I've already been going on walks. But yeah, sometimes carrying a duffel bag, I'm sure someone's probably like, what the hell are you doing? So he's casing the place. So I'd rather just drive out or go somewhere else. So, oh, that's right. Oh, shoot. Okay. So I caught something that I missed, and I'll be able to show you guys again how to put this handle on, because I forgot to put the spring in. Ooh. All right. So again, so I guess I could show you how to take it off. So to take it off, you're gonna undo that T27. Inside the handle, there's a little rubber, like, grommet piece that covers it. So you're just gonna pry it off with a small flathead. Undo the T27, and then once you're done doing that, you just kind of pull it out. And then, like I said, it's kind of like a weird, like, twist and lock in place. So for that, you're just gonna turn it back and kind of pull out at the same time, and you're good. But that's where the little spring sits in place. So that is something that you do want to tighten down first. T27. And then it has like a little loopy right here. So you just want to make sure that that loopy aligns to that hole right there. but you kind of have to hold it with your finger because it does move out of place a little bit. Oops. Oop, need to hold it in more. Okay. Still kind of. So with the resistance, you do kind of want to, like with your finger, when you're putting the screw in, with this finger, you're gonna kind of hold where that loopy is, because when you're tightening down the screw, it's gonna want to push the spring or move the spring out of. So you're gonna kind of start off kind of really away from that. There. Nope. Tricky. It's not really tricky. It's just, well, kind of is, but we'll be all right. Okay, that's cool right there. So then now, to put the handle back on, you want to start off with this end and then align it so there's like a little groove. You're gonna just align it like so, and then once it's in place, you're gonna just spin it forward, turn it forward, and then boom, sit it into place. And then now you can go ahead and put in oh, that's what that self-tap. Okay, cool. Okay. Put your T27 back into place. Uh-oh says, yeah, I understand. Oh, I already read that. My bad. Just making sure I'm not leaving you guys hanging there on the comments. Give it a nice hand snug, but not too tight. Because it's plastic and it'll strip out even faster, quicker. Sweet. Now the bottom screw for the handle. Little tiny T27. Nice little hand snuggie. Cool. So now I actually need to get the new bolt, which I wonder if this one will work. I think this one might do, actually. Yeah, this one should do. Okay. Either way, I'll test fit it before I actually tighten it down, because I can't mess this one up, because if I do, that's it. So let's go ahead and put that ignition module on. Oh shoot. Uh-oh. Talking about paying more attention. Little clips, man. Oh. Hold on a second. Just trying to put this little, it holds the, it secures the air filter cover. Oh, there we go. Oh, man. Oh, man. Whew. Okay. Got to be more careful. As we were just talking about being careful, kind of forget about these little, the loop and this little hinge right there. Okay. Cute little ignition module. Oh, says, do you mind me asking your name? Whoa. Now we're getting personal here. No, yeah, dude. I'm David. I feel like, well, some may know, some may not. But yeah, no, my name is David. Good to meet you, sir. Alex. Alejandro. All right. Kati says, is it a Chinese? No, sir, or ma'am. This is Japanese. Japanese. Badass little saw, too. Bite to the bone. So to put the ignition module, there's these little, it's kind of like risers. I'm not sure what they are, really. But you want to make sure you put those on first, because it does make a difference. If you don't put them on, believe me, you will run into a little snag. All right, all right, all right. Choo. Oh, LR. You know, these are good little saws. These are amazing. They can cut, man. They can cut. You know, the 325 pitch that they put on these things, like the mini, I mean, it's good. The 3/8 pitch is a little grabby, but you put a quarter pitch conversion on there, and a lot of people are like, oh, quarter pitch, what are you going to cut with that? You know, but I'm telling you, man, I've seen it. I've seen it in person, and they cut really well, really fast, nice clean cuts, smooth. And even though you're running a little quarter pitch low pro chain or whatever, they last, you know. So, all right. Kati says, did you ever try to mod a chainsaw exhaust? I have. So the most recent one that I modified was for a steel 151 TC, which is the equivalent to this, or like, you know, but I still think this one will give it a good run for its money. I don't know. I think this one's still, you know, but anyways, so I ported that 151, and then I modified the original exhaust, which it came out sweet, which once we're done with this, I can show you guys what that looks like. I cut it and I bored it all out. I opened it all the way up, and unfortunately I I haven't heard what it sounds like yet because it won't start, man. So I think it needs a little carb work, but yeah. And then these ones, they get the West Coast muffler or the Egan straight pipe, which is what I run on mine. But I also really like the West Coast. Okay, moment of truth here. Let's get this flywheel on. But yeah, no, really good saws. And really, that's the only thing that the saw needs, right? Like straight out of the box. I think a muffler modification, whether you modify the original, which that's what Ripsaw does. They just modify the original, or you get the West Coast saw muffler or the Egan straight pipe. So it just kind of depends on what you like, essentially. And then if you really want to get a little more zip out of it, you know, you can do the quarter pitch conversions. So this model is the CS2511T, and then they also have a TN version, which is the same thing, same engine displacement power. It's just running a different pitch, a different chain pitch. So the T's come with the 3/8 low profile, which is pretty standard on a lot of top handle saws. Well, the 151s, they come with the quarter pitch conversion, the Pico. So there's two different quarters. So there's the quarter pitch and then there's the quarter low pro. But the T version comes with the 3/8 low pro, and then the TN version, which is what I have personally. And thank God, because that's what the bottom end came from. It comes with the mini 325, or what Oregon calls the nano cut, I believe. Let's see. Says I have a Chinese copy of Echo CS280, and it's from 2008. Bought it dirt cheap, and it's working. Yeah, a lot of like like the Chinese version, like Holz Forma or whatever it is, or I think for the Chinese version of the 2511s, I forget what it's called, but Aaron Lynch, he has one. He works with those. I mean, he does a lot. I've learned a lot from that man. And so yeah, he does. I forget what is it called? Vorter? No. Anyways, it's like Neotech, you know. Kati says I modded a Chinese little one and it sounds crazy. It's not even usable. There's no filters or nothing. No, and sometimes, like all aftermarket or replica stuff, I mean, I mean, obviously the quality is not the same, but that's not to say that they're not rippers, you know? So, okay, let's go ahead and tighten this thing down. And you know what? If I'm already having doubts with this flywheel nut, I'm not even going to risk it. So I'm going to go ahead and dig in through my unassembled 2511 bag of parts and hardware and use the one that it's supposed to go with, just to not run any chances of damaging this crankshaft, because, well, I'd like to think that we do learn from our mistakes sometimes. So let me just do things. Because again, like I'm saying, if I'm already having like suspicion that, I don't know, man, it's like, it's a good fit, but let's just not run any chances here. So let's do things, let's be professionals here. Whoa, professionals. So here is my 2511 in a bag of parts. Where is... Aha. It's brand new, man. I only ran it for, like I said, about an hour just to do some test cuts with the Ripsaw quarter pitch conversion kit and the Egan straight pipe, and that's about it. But other than that, it's brand new, man. Okay, so look, let's go ahead and get the appropriate there it is. Boom. Because even though this is coming from a TN version, the T and the TN exactly the same other than the chain pitch. But everything else exactly the same. Let's go ahead and just put that back over here for now. So let's just cross-reference these here. And I really can't tell the difference, but I really want to say that the one that I was going to try to use is just slightly bigger. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's not run any risk, man. I would like to try to get this saw going today. It'd be nice. It still has that little bit of... But peace of mind. I know that this is the one that's supposed to go on here, so let's just use that. Okie dokie. So let's go ahead and set the gap here. I just used the old business card trick. So there are tools to help you set the gap, but good old business card. In this case, I'm using a repair tag, and I'm wedging it in between the ignition module and the flywheel. Come on, buddy. You were just in there. Get in there. Well, it was just in. What the hell? What the hell? That's probably why the tool would probably be a little bit better, but let me go ahead and loosen that up a little bit. Okay, there we go. I'll think. Yeah. All right. Then once you have your little business card or the appropriate tool or the special tool, you can go ahead and undo your screws here that hold down your ignition module. And then you're going to just spin the flywheel until the magnets come in contact. She already did, but I missed it, so I'm going to just do it again. Okay. So I feel like that's good there. And if for some reason the gap doesn't get set correctly doing this method, you'll definitely find out when you go to run it. It just won't run right or at all probably, but okay. Either way, I'll do the good old spark check just to make sure we are getting spark, and then when we go to run it, like I said, we'll find out very quickly if the GAT is set correctly. All we need now is, let's go ahead and just get the carburetor in there, get that out of the way. You know what? Part of me is like, you know what, let's go ahead and remove these limiter caps now. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. So I'll show you guys my method of doing it. Well, it's not my method, but that's the method that I like to use. Let me find, just in case we need a little extra adjustment. So it basically involves a self-tap screw, a small one, and then, but I'll show you guys. It's a little tricky, kind of, but I did have, oh yeah, it's right here. Okay. I thought so. It's going crazy, man. Oh, the worm gear came out? Okay. Put that back in there. So to take these limiter caps out, they're the red. Oh, let's see. Sorry about that. I missed these comments. It's called Sun Garden Beaver 3614. Sun Garden Beaver. That's funny. I'll have to look into that. Do you know John Cutter chainsaws? No. Or, well, like, not John Seared, right? I believe that's how you call it. That's how you say it. So, okay. So for these type of limiter caps, you want to grab a flathead. And so there's a little... so they're going to have these little notches. Let me just make sure. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this very good, but you see how there's these little notches right here, and it's part of the limiter cap, the red, and how it goes into place here and here. You want to make sure that those are sitting in that position, because when you go ahead and put the screw into the limiter cap here, you got to be careful because it will move out of place when you're putting them in, but you want to make sure that those are positioned in place in those little grooves or notches in there, because essentially the idea is you go ahead and put in your screw like so, and assuming that everything is lined up in there, once it's in there, you just kind of wiggle it and you pull it out. So usually what I have to do is I put it in, and then I kind of have to like it's just, I know you guys can do it. It's easy. It's just, you just got to make sure that those little notches in there, as you can see, these little things right here, line up when you're getting ready to pull it out. And you do have to wiggle just a little bit. So let's go ahead and put this thing in. So let's go ahead and start it manually. You want to be careful that you don't go too much though, but You'll be all right. It will move on you, so just go ahead and put the screw in. You don't want to crank down on it, just go slow. And then what you can do is, once you have a good fit on there, a good snug fit, put it in a little more. Okay, like so. Pretty much what I end up doing is just taking it out and then realigning that little notch. And then putting the screw in just a little bit, just until it starts grabbing. Slowly. And then, once you feel like you have enough bite, you can just kind of slowly start. And just give it a little wiggle. And be careful. And there you go. So that's pretty much how I do it. This isn't my method. I didn't come up with this. I got this from someone on YouTube. But essentially, instead of trying to keep it aligned and making sure you're not, now I can show you guys better show you the little notch that I'm talking about better. I don't know if you guys can see that. This little piece here, you want to make sure it's aligned with that little notch. But essentially what I do, just to save the frustration of making sure that it stays in position, I just put the screw in, give it a nice tight down. I'm not cranking down on it. I'm just making sure there's good tension, enough bite. Once I feel like I'm there, then I just go ahead and back the screw out. And then move the limiter cap back in position. So, like so. All right. And then slowly put the screw back in. You still want to make sure it doesn't move out of position. And I'm going clockwise, so righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And I'm going just enough to where I feel a good amount of bite. Because what you don't want to do is not have enough bite, meaning, the thread catching inside, and then pull it out and then damage it. But you could probably just pry it out somehow, but that's just going to be a little more of a pain in the butt. So same thing, I have enough bite. I'm going to give it just another little, okay? And again, same thing. You're just going to wiggle it a little bit, wiggle it. You do want to kind of put some tension on there. Oh, and there you go. And now you have all the tuning access. But essentially that's what you want to do. And this is the type of screw that I use. Something like this, little drywall screw or whatever you want to call this. That's what I use. And that's it. So now we can tune the carburetor all we want. And screw it up. I'm just kidding. But that's it. And let's see. Okay, so this is going to go in like so. Ready? I should have put so this fuel line, this line is going to go behind the carburetor. So actually, let's go ahead and take this out again. just push that to the back. And actually we can connect it while it's out. So let me just put that in. Make sure it's nice and secure. Cool. Make sure our choke is working. Sweet. And I should probably connect the ignition module. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's just make sure that this is tightened enough. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we're almost ready to rip. All we got to do now is just clutch, sprocket, exhaust. And then our little air filter base and all that. Oh, actually, you know what? I need to put this little grommet. We got Newton 007X back in the house. Has steel 201T. No, sir. This is Echo CS2511T. Really good top handle saw. So this is equivalent to a steel 151 chainsaw. So what I'm putting in, I almost forgot, is this little piece right here, and it goes right inside the again, I call this the carburetor box. So it goes right into there, right there. There's two of them. Okay, make sure throttle's good. Just make sure our choke is good again. All right, perfect. And let's just go ahead and get the rest of this. Let's just go ahead and finish up the, oh boy. Talking about focus, eh? Forgot this little ring that goes in the boot. Man, this guy's all over the place. Sheesh. Snug little fit, so make sure it's actually pressed in there good. So you keep wanting to come out. Oh. You know what, let's go ahead and tricky little thing. Okay, let me go ahead and remove all this again. Let me take out the carburetor because I want to do this right. It is a snug little fit though. It's got like a little brim, little rim there. Okay, let me make sure this is all the way in. Okay. Well, tricky little thing. Just get it in there, man. Oh boy. Okay, we're having some technical difficulties here. Okay, make sure that this is all the way. I'm just trying to put this little thing in here. Come on, guy. You little bastard. Why are you being so difficult? Why? Why? Okay, you know what? Let me put a little oil on there. Just a little tiny bit. It'll act as like some pressing fluid, but should just be going in. Should just be going in. It's all right. We're just talking about patience and all that, so this is all it is. And sometimes we may think, oh, this little piece won't matter if it's not in all the way or if it's not sitting, but it could be the piece that makes or breaks you. Oh, you know what? I wonder if this is something that would go. Come on, guy. Okay. Whew. Tricky. There we are. Man. Talk about some thumb strength there. Okay, let's get our linkage back in. Linkage. Linkage. Cool. Get our line back on. Something tells me that this saw is going to be good, but again, I always do that to myself thinking, oh, it's going to be fine. But I still always get like an anxiety, man, like a little, you know. And Newton says, best wishes from Germany, my friend. Best wishes to you guys over here from Cali. OO says, have you tried fixing Husqvarna 5 generation saws, the ones with electronic inside? Yeah, so I've done, I haven't gotten too many, but I have gotten a 572 that I've done ignition module replacement on, and that's about it. I do have I believe it's a 562 or a 564, I think. Needs a top end. But yeah, I've done the 572, and it actually wasn't too bad. I mean, it looks like it has a lot going on, You know, they do things a little differently, but it's nothing crazy though. I mean, it was fine, you know, it was good. So I believe this goes in like so. I would like to get it. I would like to do more, because I don't really get too many Husqvarnas. I've gotten a 395, the 572. I have a 288 right now, and then I have that 562 or 564. I'm not sure what it is. And then I have my little personal saw that our customer and good friend Santiago gave us, which is a little Husqvarna 51, not the Rancher. Is it a 51? It is a 51, and I haven't even had a chance to rip that, so, or even try it. But it's like brand new. It was given to him by a customer that he was doing a job for, because he works in tree service. So he was doing a job for him, and the older gentleman came out, and he's like, hey, he's like, you know, you obviously work in this stuff, and he's like, I don't have a use for it anymore, and he's like, I don't know if it runs or not, but it's pretty much brand new. I think it's going to be a little ripper, so do a little muffler mod on that, and and go for it. Okay. So where is... Let's go ahead and put cool. Bam, bam, bam. We're getting close. We're getting close. Let's just go ahead and close this up. Latch it. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. You know what? Let's go ahead and get this rewind on there now. These little inside pieces, man, they're kind of flimsy sometimes. Cool. Kitchu. Now for like 201s or 200Ts, I always put Loctite on the rewind starters, because those go in straight into the crankcase, or at least on the crankcase side. But when it goes into plastic, I don't do Loctite. Nice little hand snug. And then for this one, it's going to be this guy here. Cool. Sweet. Let's go ahead and get this muffler on, and then we'll put a spark plug in there, and just at least test to see if we have spark. And then the real test will be when I go out and run it, make sure the gap is all good. And I mean, I feel like it's good, but you know, we'll see. And go ahead and get our needle bearing on, and clutch and sprocket. So I like the red and tacky grease, so like the Lucas Oil red and tacky. But when I first started up, and I've been working on this little tube of white lithium grease, the red and tacky is also lithium grease, to my understanding. But either way, this will work. I always say this, but I was told one time by a mechanic who I used to work with at the shop, where I pretty much started and found my passion for saws and stuff. He told me that these don't have to be greased, but I've always learned to know, or I've grown up to know that you lubricate bearings. You know, I was a little skateboarder and all that, and I'd always make sure all my bearings were clean and greased, and so. And maybe they don't have to be greased up, but I like to. I like to grease them. And reverse thread on these guys. Different sockets. Better 13 mil here. That should do. Okay, that's obviously not a good one. Sheesh. This one? No? Come on, man. Jesus. I should probably get a new, an actual socket set, but I'm just using Grandpa's tools, but some of his stuff is a little old already, but it's all good. It still works. There we go. Don't need to go crazy on that, but just want to make sure it's secure. So I'm rocking the DeWalt Impact. I don't know what model this is. I know there's a model above this one. So this is the, what is this one? The 809, and I think there's like a 902, which is probably a little bit more power. This one doesn't have adjustable torque or anything. It is brushless, 20 volt. But that one I had chilling in my storage shed, brand new. I got it for dirt cheap. It was a bundle set, so carrying bag, charger, 2 amp battery, and so when I finally got my own thing going here, instead of having to go out and buying the Milwaukee, and I don't mean it by saying like, oh, I had to go get the Milwaukee, but you know what I prefer to use. I was like, you know what, I'll just use what I have. But one day though, I would like to upgrade to a Milwaukee, the M18, because although that one has saved me numerous times, and it did save me from having to go out and spend the money on an M18, but that one, every now and then, it can't tackle all the clutches. So it's only, so like the 288 XP that I have here, it just doesn't have enough juice to, enough power to take that one off. And a 395 clutch that I had to do one time, it just couldn't do it. So everything else though, I get lucky with. But then of course now I have the subcompact here, the Milwaukee, the M12, because I just want to save my hands a little bit. Although for those that follow along and watch the live streams, you know, for the longest time I'm like, oh, I like doing things by hand, meaning just regular hand tools, and I do, but I've been feeling it a little bit. So okay, muffler time. Muffler time. Oh shit. Man, this guy today with the focus, I forgot the washer for the clutch. Man, I'm gonna end up stripping this shit out. I should probably just get this one out of the toolbox because that one does not work well. So this has a little washer. It goes this way here. Now we can tighten this thing down. And that's good there. Let's see. Oh says, I don't know about reliability, but they look great, especially like the one-handled 540, I believe. No, they're good, man. No, I really do agree with you on that one. You know, I think they have power. You know, Husqvarna makes some good saws, you know, some good power saws. But just from what I've seen in my experience is that sometimes they just can't handle the abuse like steel. Even these little Echo 2511s, you'd be surprised, man. I know somebody that that all they use now is the 2511 because their 201 got stolen. They're running the 12-inch quarter pitch conversion, and that's all they're using to cut up in a tree. Obviously, if he has a bigger top to take down, he'll use you know, the 500 or whatever. But that's all he uses, 2511, and it's going strong. It's going strong. But yeah, no, the top handles, the 540s. I would like to own one, but you know, just from what I see on forums, I mean, they definitely have their issues. But again, all saws do. But yeah, I think reliability though, I think you know, I don't know. I kind of agree with that. Hey, we got Grayson Nichols in the house. Sir, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Hope you and the third gen is doing good. Cool. Oh, let's put this little rubber grommet back in place. Boom. Let's go ahead and get this muffler on. All right. Like so. Where is our exhaust? Still has the gasket. And for these, definitely want to use Loctite always on your mufflers. That is actually a really common thing where they become loose and then it just damages your cylinder, and it's a common thing. So definitely want to put some Loctite on there. And like I say, I like to use the red Loctite. Nothing against the blue. I just prefer, I'd rather just go hard or go home. And I do like the consistency better than the blue. But no hate on the blue. If that's all you have, or if that's all you can get. But if you can, I would just try to use the red. But something is better than nothing. And we got one more. Cool beans. Nice little hand snug. But especially if you're using Loctite, you don't even have to go too extra on the hand snug, because it'll obviously lock itself into place. But if for some reason you don't have Loctite or you ran out, I mean, just try to give it a good hand snug, but still be careful though, especially going into the cylinder, because cylinder metal is very soft. Sorry, excuse me guys, but still kind of working through some poison oak in the eyes. OO says, I agree, still in my opinion is the most reliable saws. I really do agree. I mean, that's what I believe, but there's probably some Husqvarnas out there that run just as reliable as a steel. But power wise, I mean, I do kind of have to say, steel or Husqvarnas, they do got that chain speed, man. They do got that power, especially when it comes down to the 661s and the 592s. I would love to have a 592 one day. I already got a 661, which from time to time I talk about Big Bertha. That's what I'm talking about. He needs a new top end. But anyways, so that's what we're looking like, guys. But yeah, man, I agree with you. Grayson says, I went outside a week ago, slipped and fell my 30 foot and broke my ankle and five. Oh, what? Damn, dude. That sucks, obviously. But dude, hopefully the recovery is going well, and gots to be more careful, man. Sheesh. No, that's horrible, man. Glad you're doing good though. Hopefully, glad you didn't, like, I don't know, hit your head and shit. That's either way, that's still horrible. But hopefully you're doing good, and thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you. Kevin Martinez says, what you working on? So just got done putting together this Echo. It's a 2511T. I just reassembled it because I did a complete inspection. So the cylinder does have a little bit of some light markings. I'm calling them markings, not completely, I mean, scoring marking, but at this point it's just piston transfer. It's not gouges or nothing. It's not the prettiest inside, but it's not the ugliest. It originally came in because the customer was saying that they couldn't get it to run right. They tried messing with the carburetor a little bit, but it still had the limiter caps in, so they could only go so far anyways. But maybe they were accidentally adjusting the low, so it really just unbalanced the tune. Or maybe the markings that it does have, the piston transfer is affecting performance. But when I saw the markings on the cylinder sleeve, to get the best idea of if it's turning into gouges, so deep scoring. So gouge is just technically considered a deep groove or indentation. So I just wanted to make sure it wasn't gouges, because that definitely will affect your compression and performance. So I removed the cylinder head, and I had it put back together, and then I realized that I made a mistake because I wasn't being careful, and I accidentally mushroomed the end of the crankshaft here, so I damaged the threads because I was trying to hammer the whole thing to take it out, and I missed a little bit. But thankfully I have my personal 2511 that has maybe a Sorry, guys, I was getting a call because I'm actually using the good phone here. So hopefully you guys can still hear me, but it's getting toasty, so it was basically causing friction on the cylinder sleeve. So I had to take the saw apart because I couldn't install the flywheel because the threads are damaged. And then when I tried to put the nut on there, it damaged the threads of the nut. So again, thankfully I have my personal 2511 that's in pretty much new condition. It's clean. So he got a new bottom end on my expense, on my mistake. So now it's assembled. Just got to finish putting on the clutch cover and the muffler cover, and then I'm gonna end the live stream, and then I'm gonna go out to my little testing site here down the street, just because I can't run saws here, just because of rules and HOA and just circumstances. So to see if I can get it to run and see how it runs, I took the limiter caps off the carburetor, so now I have, you know, access to all the adjustment I need. So we'll see. But as far as compression, though, I mean, I know it's a little tiny saw, it doesn't weigh anything, but if compression was no good, I mean, this saw would still drop really quick. But I mean, it's still good. And so yeah, 2511T, that's what I'm working on. I know that was a really long answer to a pretty simple question, but just so you know what's going on. Kevin Martinez is asking, are echoes good? I like the 2511s a lot. They really are good saws. They're a tiny little saw, but they're rippers. They really do, you know, they're reliable from what I've experienced, you know, just from customer saws coming in, and especially after you put, you know, either a West Coast muffler or modify the muffler, open it up a little bit, essentially, or the Egan straight shot pipe, which is what I was running on my personal saw, 2511. And then, you know, if anything, if that's something that they're, you know, the person's into, the quarter pitch conversion, just to make it cut a little faster, smoother cuts, cleaner cuts. But really a muffler modification or a modded muffler, open it up a little bit, amazing. Tune it just a little bit, great saws. And Echo makes other good saws too, I think, like what is it, like the 4910s and yeah, so it just kind of depends. I know everybody has a different experience, but I think Echo makes really good engines. I really like Echo for their leaf blowers, hedge trimmers, line trimmers, and of course now, you know, their 2511s. And so I can't really speak on their like bigger saws because I haven't ran any personally, but from what I see Aaron Lynch do on YouTube with those saws, I mean, he ports them and everything, man, screamers. Charles Briscoe, whew, boy, you know. But I think Echo makes some solid engines for sure. OO says, do you have a tachometer? I actually don't. I really need to invest in one of those, but I just kind of do the whole ear thing, and you know, but of course the more correct way would probably be a tachometer, just to get an idea of RPM and whatnot. But no, I don't have one. Should get one though. Like I said, I should get one. So let me go ahead and get this spark plug in and just test for spark, just to make sure we get the basic checks in before we go out and do some testing. And as far as the gap setting, since I don't have the actual gap setting tool, at least I can get an idea. You know, if we have spark, that's a great thing. Make sure your ignition is on. Really, you can just make contact with anything. So anything metal, at least. So I can just probably make contact with the bottom end here. Let me get something bigger. Oh shoot. But as far as knowing if your gap is set, I mean, unless you have the tool to set the gap, when you go to run it, you'll know if your gap is set correctly or not. Because if it is, I mean, it'll run like normal, and if it's not, then it just won't run right or at all. So okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that I'm just making contact with the top of the cylinder here. And one thing you don't want to do is touch the spark plug with your bare hands. I know some of you are probably like, well, duh, but don't do it. It'll just give you a tiny little zap. Nothing crazy, but it'll wake you up. Hopefully I can do this and crank this at the same time. I don't know if this is gonna work. Let's see. It's tricky here. Oh yeah, we got good spark. So we're hopeful here. We are hopeful. So these run, so this is running a NGK spark plug. That's all I prefer to run. Or if I can't, for some reason I can't get NGK, Bosch is good too, but I prefer NGK. And these run CMR 6H, or they can run the CMR 7H. So just different temps. So this is the cooler plug, if I remember correctly. And then the higher the number, the hotter they are, if I remember correctly. All right. And then for testing customer saws, I use VP's pre-mixed 50-1. And then for my personal saws, I use VP's 4-cycle fuel, ethanol free, and then I mix in AMSOIL Sabre, which is a full synthetic, and I mix that a 50-1 or 40-1, but I usually just stick to 50-1. Haven't really messed around with anything else, so I just try to stay away from the ethanol fuel. And I do my best to, tell our customers about ethanol free, but, I do understand it's more expensive, and a lot of these guys, they're working on crews, and it's just, it's expensive. So a gallon of premix, so a gallon of VPs 50-1, it's depending in your area, it could be anywhere from 30 to 35 bucks. The steel moto mix, you're looking at anywhere from 40 to 50 bucks. So, but if you guys are going to run the pump gas, and if that's, the most cost effective, at least try to run an 89 grade, so the middle grade. Or, it's already cheaper than buying a gallon of the ethanol free. Try to do yourself a favor and run the premium, so 91, and then run a good mix, a good full synthetic. And that you'll be all right. Because the last thing you want to do is run cheap quality fuel and cheap oil, and then you're running the risk of developing some some carbon deposits in your ports, and it just won't be as clean burning. There's other ways that produce carbon deposits, but the thing is, though, you just want to make sure you're running good quality, especially if you're working them hard. That's just my 2 cents on that. Use a drill, oh, you know what? That's a good idea too, man. Actually, that's a really good idea. I'm going to use that next time. Watch. That actually makes way more sense. My man, coming in with the knowledge. See? Is this thing even, what am I doing here? What in the world? Oh, I see what's going on. Oh, boy. Oh, wow. Hold on a second. I'm like excited to go rip this thing. I'm like losing the focus a little bit. Excuses. That's how I check this drill. No, but that's what I'm going to use, man. You know what? I didn't ever even thought about that, to be honest with you. I really did not. But that makes a lot of freaking sense, man. I appreciate you sharing that little tip. He said what? Relax, people. Settle down. Logan says high octane. Logan says high octane ethanol free pump gas is good with a good oil of your choice. That's what I'm saying. If you can, that's the way to go. That is, in my opinion, the way to go if you want to just protect your equipment, whether it's line trimmer, hedge trimmer, chainsaw, and especially if you're running your stuff, all day for work and you're running it hard. That's what I recommend. But a lot of crews though, they don't because you know, just the cost. And so I tell them, like I was just saying, if you're gonna run the pump gas, at least just run the 89 grade, so the middle grade. But at that point, you're still saving money. Just hit the premium, you know, hit the 91, and definitely get yourself a good full synthetic oil. So, and like I was saying, for testing saws for customers, um, just to save a little bit on my cost, I use VP's 50 to 1 premix, which is a 94 octane ethanol free. And what is up with these screws right now? And for my personals, I use VP's 4 cycle with AMSOIL. AMSOIL's Sabre full synthetic. Okay, you know what? Let's just. Interesting little cover. So that's what I try to do my best to recommend. But I understand, man. Like, you know, everything's an investment. But you know, most customers that ask me like, hey, well, what can I do to, you know, protect my machine or get more longevity or just, you know, protection? Cleaning. You know, a lot of people might be like, cleaning, like, no, really, cleaning your saws, especially, you know, around the cylinder fins, making sure, you know, you don't have tree fiber all wedged inside your cylinder fins. You know, obviously running a good sharp chain, and then from there, fuel and oil. And then of course, how you're running the saw too, making sure you're not, you know, overworking your saw. So, but then my point was, and all that was, when I tell them, like, when they're like, okay, well, what do I use for fuel and oil? I tell them, oh, VP's 4 cycle or whatever, and then AMSOILs, and then they look at the prices and they're like, whoa, man, $35 a gallon or 30 to $35 a gallon for VPs. And I'm like, well, you know, that's just, would you rather run some expensive fuel and oil and have a reduced risk of, you know, causing damage to your cylinder and your piston, or would you rather run cheap stuff but then eventually, you know, blow up your saw? Well, not blow it up, but, you know, score up your saw and then have to bring it to someone to fix it and then charging labor. It's just, I don't know. But I know we all think a little differently, so it's you know, it is what it is. Okay, last thing, and the final thing, at least for testing purposes, for how we're going to do it now, because we have nothing to cut with right now. One day, though, that's the goal, to have a better running spot with some wood, and test these things in some wood, man. Because that is really the best way to do it, too. And where are you, Scrunch? Tighten this thing down so we don't have a clutch cover flying during testing. And I always can't stress enough, when it comes down to tightening down your bar nuts onto your bar studs, you don't have to over tighten your bar nuts, because what's going to end up happening is, I mean, obviously you want your clutch cover to be secure, but especially when your bar studs start getting dirty, you should clean them, like with a brush, or just, you know, clean them off, wipe them down the best to your ability. But especially if they're dirty, it already creates tension when the threads are dirty. So when you're over tightening them, you're going to sit there and have to really just like force them to break loose. And what's going to start happening is you're going to start undoing basically, yeah, undoing your bar studs, and then you're going to start damaging your crankcase threads, and then that's not good either, especially on pro saws with the magnesium. And just, let's just say one half is like at least $300, and then you got another half, and it's just, you don't want to do that. So you want to have your bar nuts be secure, but you don't want to sit there and just crank down on them at all. So that's it. Just my little tip, my little 2 cents. So anyways, there is the 2511 all put together, ready for testing, which we're going to do that shortly. And for this live stream, that pretty much concludes what we're doing today. I'm glad I was able to do a better live stream, just because like I keep saying, our last live stream was a little it just wasn't normal. It just wasn't like a routine live stream, not very productive, and I just was very like unmotivated. But anyways, today was a better day. What I'm going to work on now is my buddy Alonzo's 194T. Do a little timing advance, and which I think I'll probably maybe start up another live stream to show how to do that. In all honesty, that's not something that I do all the time. So, but I know I'm capable of doing it. We're not going to go super crazy. Just a little shave down, just a little advance. It already has the precision saw service muffler. I'm going to take that saw out there too, just to rip it, and so you guys can hear it, so I can hear it as well in person. Michael Gage, he makes some really nice, beautiful modified mufflers. He's making new versions of all his mufflers with just bigger openings. I ran his original 201T muffler on when I had my personal 201 TC, which is the M-Tronic version. So I'm curious to hear what this 194 sounds like. And I believe Oliver of all trades, he runs a precision saw service on his 184, and it sounds cool. So let me just get resituated here, and we'll be back in just a little bit. I'm gonna go take a restroom break, and either way, I'm really glad everybody was here today. I appreciate you guys for the time, and all just the love and support. We got 18 likes on this live stream, which is, I think, a record for our live streams. We're not here for the likes, but man, that's pretty cool. And just everybody that was hanging out today, again, taking time out of your guys' day to be here. I really appreciate you guys. And let me just miss some of these comments here. I apologize. So we got OO says, interesting thing is in Europe, especially Germany, there's 95 gas without alcohol in it, and chemically gas is different from country to country, still burning though. That is interesting. Someone tried to tell me that steel, the Moto Mix, it's really 95 grade, but they like market it as 94, which I don't think they can do that. But if it is, I mean, I don't know. I've actually never ran Moto Mix, but it is interesting, huh? I think that's interesting too, how things change from region to region, country to country, and just in business. That's all I can say, business. But and we got Muhammad Abu Hassan back in the house. Says, hi again. Sorry for before. It was my brother. No, man, you're all good. Honestly, I never really do take offense to anything. It is what it is, man. There's no hard feelings. You're all good. You and everyone is always welcomed here. That's the point of having our channel. And when I say our channel, I mean everyone watching, supporting, and myself. It's everybody's always welcomed here. And thankfully, since we've had our channel, since I started it last year in July, and doing these live streams, it's been really a positive experience. Every now and then, we catch the wave of some silliness, and I call them goofies and things like that. But ultimately, though, it's been a really awesome ride, and I can't wait to see what 2025 has in store for our channel. So it's going to be good things, though. So just got to keep the mind positive, got to keep things going, got to keep what we have going already, consistent, and you know, positive. So, so Muhammad, it's all good, man. No worries. You know, no need to apologize. I get it. you know, I, uh, you know, I'm 33 years old and I have moments too. All right. So it's all good. But again, no offense taken. You know, sometimes, I feed into the weirdness a little bit, but that's probably because maybe I'm already feeling maybe low patience, a little frustrated, but I do my best not to do that because, well, I don't think that's why a lot of you are here, to see bullcrap, So, because we're here to do solves and learn something, So